everyone, and welcome to another Smackdown review here on Wrestling with Regret. I am your host, Alex, your self-proclaimed queen of the ring, and we just experienced a very interesting week in wrestling. Am I right, CM Punk? Let's just jump into it. Opening up the show, we have Baron Corbin coming out to deliver another snooze fest of a promo with Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. And in the middle of this segment, he brought out this dog mascot to make fun of Roman, and he's pretty much trashing Roman, and Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode are agreeing with him, but he thinks that he has two weak links in his Survivor Series team, and it's Ali and Shorty G, which confuses the hell out of me because I'm thinking this is leading down to him possibly kicking Roman out or wanting to kick Roman out. I mean, obviously Roman is one of the stronger competitors that you have on your team. I just don't understand why you would want to kick two people out of your team that you're not really talking crap about, but then the one person that you're talking crap about, you're making fun of him. If I was Roman Reigns, I just would not even want to be a part of this team. And especially at Survivor Series, when I get there, I wouldn't even want to participate in the match. The consistency with this storyline is completely lost with me. But apparently, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler are going to have a match with Ali and Shorty G. And if they win, then they replace them in the match, which makes Corbin looks like an idiot of a leader because Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler are not stronger competitors compared to Shorty G and Ali, or at least to Ali and Roman Reigns. Shorty G, I guess, yeah, he's a good competitor. It just doesn't make any sense to me. They have a match. Baron Corbin is at ringside. In the middle of the match, Roman Reigns comes out. He's at ringside to help Shorty G and Ali. He takes out Corbin, and then Robert Roode tries to take out Roman Reigns, and then Ali gets the win and stays on the match, stays in the team for Survivor Series with Shorty G. I just didn't understand this opening segment. I didn't know what to pay attention to in terms of storyline. Like, obviously, I had to pay attention to the stipulation of the match that was coming up, but you lost me on this one. Next is a Firefly Funhouse segment, and really the only thing to take away from this segment is Bray Wyatt changed the red Universal title into a blue Universal title. Very fitting for the Smackdown blue brand, especially in time for Survivor Series, and it looks good. It's finally not an ugly title. It looks really, really good, and you love to see it. Next, Drew Gulak is in the ring with the B team, and Braun Strowman comes out, and Drew Gulak shows Braun Strowman how he can save the Smackdown team. And then, of course, Braun Strowman attacks him, and then attacks the B team, and then Braun Strowman looks super strong at the end. Great, that's fine. I would love to see Drew Gulak just messing with Braun Strowman every single week, showing him different PowerPoints and just really grinding his gears. But I like this. It's just, you know, it's just gonna be this whole thing of like, oh, Drew Gulak is like kind of messing with Braun Strowman until like next week or after Survivor Series, and then we don't see Drew Gulak for years. You know how WWE does it. I love Drew Gulak. I think he deserves the world, and I loved him in this segment, but this was just a whole... And also the B team, you know what? I'll get to that in 1 second. But moving on, we have the rematch for the Tag Team Championships, New Day versus The Revival, and it was a good match, but I really wanted The Revival to win, and I know I've been saying this for so long, for so many weeks. Show The Revival. The Revival are tag champs. The Revival deserves more, but because they do. I mean, going into the Survivor Series match, you instantly think that the New Day is going to win. It's so predictable that the New Day is going to win. Maybe Undisputed Era is going to win, and there's no chance in hell the Vikings are going to win. But with the Revival being in that match, it just really gives that element of, okay, who really is going to win this match? I mean, I guess if it was Revival, Undisputed Era, and Vikings, you think, okay, maybe Undisputed would win. But it would be very exciting if the Revival won for that match, or even if the Vikings won for that match. But now going into this, I'm just gonna think, cool, New Day is probably gonna win. And you know what? If any other team, Disputed or Vikings, if they won, it would definitely take me by surprise, and it would be a very exciting ending. But going into this match now, it's just like, New Day is gonna win, whatever. Well, I don't want to be like that, but it doesn't matter, because the match was good. It was getting good, and I was getting into it. But then Undisputed Era came out, and they attacked both the New Day and the Revival, and the whole men's main roster came out. Undisputed Era jumped over the barricade, ran away, and before they could run away, Adam Cole said, "We run WWE." And honestly, that's hard facts. NXT does run WWE. So everybody runs out, and luckily Heavy Machinery were one of the teams to run out and help New Day and Revival, because the next match was Heavy Machinery versus some local jobbers. And this makes me very upset, because going back to what I was going to say about the B team probably could have had that spot instead of those jobbers. I mean, those lucky local wrestlers, good for them, but there were several different teams that ran out to help New Day and the Revival, and yet you just think, oh, let's just give some shine to some local wrestlers so that Heavy Machinery looks stronger. Wouldn't it make sense for Heavy Machinery to fight Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, or Apollo Crews versus them with somebody else? Or I don't know, you just could have come up with so many other different teams in the back, especially the ones that just ran out, instead of these local jobbers. I mean, there's absolutely no disrespect to them at all. If I was a wrestler locally still working the indies and I was asked to work WWE, that is a blessing. That is great. That is a well accomplishment. I'm not taking that away from them. It's just the fact that, like, you have these people in catering backstage that don't get any TV time at all, and the only things that they get is just to run out and help. They could have had this match against Heavy Machinery, and Heavy Machinery just would have seemed stronger. This was Smackdown, what are you doing to me? Now next is really the only thing worthy of watching on Smackdown this week, I'm sorry to say, but it is the women's match with Bayley versus Nikki, and if Nikki wins, then she will be able to be on the Smackdown team with Sasha Banks as the leader, Dana Brooke, and I think Carmella is also in it. Yeah, Carmella is also in it. So Nikki Cross is fighting for this spot in Survivor Series. And then Shayna Baszler comes out and runs after Bayley. Bayley gets over the barricade and she's like, oh, I'm safe. No need to worry about Shayna Baszler. But then she turns around and it's Tegan Nox, Dakota Kai, Mia Yim, and Rhea Ripley right behind her. If you saw NXT this week, then you would know that Bayley attacked all of them, well, with the exception of Dakota Kai and Mia Yim, but Bayley attacked Rhea Ripley and Tegan Nox. So it was really cool the way that they're blending all of this together. If you watch NXT, then you would know why these girls are after Bayley now. It's not because they're just NXT girls coming with Shayna. It's because they attacked her. And although a lot of people on the internet were talking about the continuity and the consistency of Shayna coming out and attacking Bayley, but why would you have the opposing team that Shayna is going to face in War Games come and attack Bayley? Well, if you watched NXT, then you would know that it makes sense for Rhea and Tegan Nox to come and attack Bayley, at least because Bayley attacked them. But it's also cool to know that it's still primarily NXT all in a whole and put their differences aside to face the main roster. So I actually like that the opposing team came with Shayna. So it gives them a little bit of a light, but getting back to the action, Bayley turns around, the NXT girls are there. Bayley's just like, oh man, I guess I have to fight my way out of this. Fights. Sasha Banks comes, attacks Shayna. Then Sasha Banks is in the ring alone with the other girls that just attacked Bayley. The NXT girls come into the ring. The rest of the main roster SmackDown girls come into the ring. And then they get into a scruffle. The NXT girls run outside to over the barricade. Sasha Banks is like, you know what? Let's just have a match 4-on-4. Let's do this. And that's what we get. Sasha Banks, Dana Brooke, Carmella, and Nikki Cross. That's 5. I don't know why. It's supposed to be 4. But all 4 of them face Tegan Nox, Dakota Kai, Rhea Ripley, and Mia Yim. This is the only match worthy of watching that was on SmackDown in whole. It was so good. The chemistry between Rhea Ripley and Sasha Banks, who saw that coming? That was amazing. Someone give them a match together because they are going to make magic. I already saw it in the ring during that match. I want to see more of it. Although we did get a little bit of an era with Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai, one of them got confused on who was tagged in to make the pin, but that's okay. It totally made up for everything. It was just fine. This great match totally made up for that era. It was a really good match. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And I also really love that Nikki Cross got the win. So therefore she proved to herself that she should be on the team. And now she is. So now the SmackDown team for Survivor Series for the women is going to be Sasha Banks, Dana Brooke, Carmella, and Nikki Cross. You'll love to see it. And last but certainly not least is the final segment of the night, Miz TV. And the guest on Miz TV is Daniel Bryan. And earlier in the night, we saw Daniel Bryan turn down Sami Zayn's offer one last time to have Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro help Daniel Bryan, especially now more than ever, now that The Fiend is attacking Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan turns him down. Daniel Bryan comes out on Miz TV and tells The Miz that he actually understands why Bray Wyatt is mentally unstable. Then Bray Wyatt cuts in with a Firefly Funhouse segment and basically challenges Daniel Bryan to a fight for the Universal title at Survivor Series. And Daniel Bryan accepts. And he accepts. And then he walks out of the ring, and that's the end of the show. So we didn't get a Fiend appearance, but it was still pretty cool to know that we are going to get Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend at Survivor Series for this new shiny blue Universal title. Overall, if I'm going to grade this SmackDown, I would give this a D. The only pro I saw coming out of this SmackDown was the blue title change, the blue strap on this new Universal title, but also a little tiny pro. Shout out to Mia Yim for taking the beating that she got during the ladder match at NXT, broke her nose or fractured, or no, she broke her ribs, and then she had a nasty cut on her face, was gushing blood. 2 days later, comes out and has a match on SmackDown. You'll love to see it. A con this week, and it's going to be every single week, but especially this week, is just the inconsistency and just the continuity on things. I mean, I know it's wrestling, it's not supposed to make any sense, but let's just like try to kind of make sense, so much so where I can actually keep up. I felt like in the beginning I could not keep up at all. That first hour of the show is so unwatchable to me for some reason. I'm so sorry to say, but it is. And the last hour of the show was great. Let's like whatever we did in the last hour, let's like keep that up forever. But of course, we want to know what you guys think, so let us know in the comments below. What do you think of the new Universal title? It's all blue and shiny. How do you like it? What do you think is going to go down at Survivor Series? And of course, what did you think of SmackDown this week? If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. And of course, you can always subscribe to our channel, Wrestling with Regret. We come out with reviews every single week. And of course, if you want to follow me on social media, I'm at _Queen of the Ring on Instagram, and I'm at a Queen of the Ring on Twitter. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, you can search for me, Queen of the Ring Wrestling, on YouTube, or the link will be down below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week for another SmackDown review. Bye, guys.